All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Is somebody going to tell the Prime Minister of Jamaica that it was wrong for him to call elections 9 months ahead of its constitutional time? Is somebody going to tell him that under the current conditions, it was the wrong thing to do? Or are the people going to continue to say, me a vote for my good up president, me good up prime minister, I'm out in my green, or I'm out in my orange, cause me a support my party, cause me nah make them win. Or it's a festive time of the year. So election is when we have to be out in the streets. Well, we congratulated Jamaica before for the way they were handling this whole pandemic thing in comparison to many other nations, including the United States of America, who has thousands of deaths and hundreds of thousands of cases. Now, granted, given the size of the US, they're going to have more cases, right? But the control, Jamaica could have been swept more heavily, but thanks to the expertise in Jamaica, they have kept it pretty much under control until this point. Now, with the opening of the borders or reopening of the borders, because Jamaica is heavily dependent on tourism dollars and residual dollars from people coming in and out, as far as citizens who have migrated and business people who go back and forth and spend their money, their resources invested in Jamaica. So Jamaica couldn't really afford to keep their borders closed for too much longer. But at the same time, things have gotten a bit out of control. Yesterday, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, announced that there were 116 confirmed cases in a 24-hour period. Now, Jamaica was used to having 4 confirmed cases in a 24-hour period, 5 confirmed cases in a 24-hour period, and these kinds of numbers. So they went from 4 and 5 to over 100 in a 24-hour period. This 116 confirmed cases in a 24-hour period comes right behind another 88 or 80-something confirmed cases in the previous 24-hour periods. So you can only imagine that the next 24-hour period after this 116 confirmed cases, there will probably be another high number of confirmed cases again. And I say that to say this. Watching the people out in the streets in their political affiliated colors, both sides, orange and green, one can only think that with no face masks, with no social distancing, because these crowds are huge and the crowds are tight and people are in people's faces, that we can expect this to happen. Now, one of the independent parties, which is the UIC, they have actually boycotted the elections and they have decided to not even contend. They have decided to not even be a part of the elections this year in Jamaica because they believe that it would lead the people out into the streets just as it has. And this would put the country, the people of the country's health, and the country's economy at risk. How will it put the country's economy at risk? Well, if this thing starts to spread to a degree where it's starting to take over, then we are going to have to lock the country down again. Now remember, we had no choice but to open up the country before because things were going bad financially, because we simply could not afford to keep the place locked down any longer financially. So what do you think is going to happen now? Now they're going to have to lock the country down if this thing goes out of control completely. And as I am recording this, a report comes over the news that says that the Prime Minister of Jamaica has officially announced a nationwide lockdown. So we went from out and about in the streets in huge numbers to a nationwide curfew. Now, trying to put a band-aid over a machete chop wound or a gunshot. All right. Now, the total number of confirmed cases in the island have reached 1,529. However, that number seems pretty small in comparison still to other nations. I really believe that there are more cases, but of course, confirmed means you have been tested and you have been found to have it, and you are now recorded as having it by the government. There are plenty of people who probably have it but have lesser symptoms, so they're not too alarmed and they're just going to self-quarantine and the government knows nothing about them. In that, all that's going on, the world-class sprinter, the fastest man in the world, superstar Usain Bolt, has come up on the radar as someone that might have tested positive. Now, I've seen quite a few of these news articles. Some of them are saying Usain is positive. Some of them are saying that he is waiting on his results to come back. I here at SouFLoTV, I'm not 100% sure if he is positive. I have not seen Usain make a video that said he is positive, but I have seen Usain put a video out that says he is suffering from no symptoms. However, he also took a test, but he did not take a test because he had a party and he was told to go take a test. He did not take a test because he was feeling ill. He took the test because the test is required for him to travel and he has to go to work, meaning he has engagements booked outside of the country of Jamaica, so he has to get his test done before he leaves. I saw a follow-up in the Gleaner, in the Observer, and on other news entities that are saying that it is confirmed that Usain did test positive. I don't know how true that is. I am still waiting to hear from Usain if he tested positive. I prefer to take my news from the horse's mouth. If Usain Bolt actually did test positive, I don't know if the medical people are at liberty to dispose of that information or to broadcast that information to the public without his approval. See, here in the US, we have something that's called OSHA rules. OSHA has its own laws and regulations concerning the medical or health field. So you cannot just go disclose someone's medical status to the public. You would be jobless. Matter of fact, you can not only lose your job, you could find yourself in a court of law where you are sued. Understand? So I don't know how that information would have gotten out to the public that Usain has tested positive. So I am not trusting it still until I hear from Usain Bolt himself. Now, this is what Usain had to say.
Good morning, everybody. Just waking up, and like everybody has checked social media, saw that social media said I'm confirmed to have COVID-19. I did a test on Saturday to leave because I have work. Trying to be responsible, so I'm gonna stay in and stay from my friends. And also, having no symptoms, so going to quarantine myself. and wait on the confirmation to see what is the protocol and how should I go about quarantining myself from the Ministry of Health. So until then, talk to all my friends and tell them that if they come in contact with me, you should just to be safe, quarantine by yourself, and just to take it easy. And just to make people know, be safe out there. Alright? Cool.
So, basically he said he woke up this morning and he is hearing through the news that he has tested positive. He is hearing through the news. I guess it's just like how Tommy Lee Sparta heard through the news that he had to turn himself in, when they could have simply contacted his attorney, contacted his manager, or went straight to his address or his known whereabouts. He is a public figure, a very public figure that can't really hide anywhere on the island of Jamaica. So maybe it's the same thing that happened in Usain's case, but given what Usain Bolt just said, he said he woke up this morning and he heard. He never said he got his results back. He said he is waiting on his results. But he woke up this morning to hear from the news that he had tested positive. Now, I personally would have went to my own doctor or awaited my results from my doctor. I wouldn't take it from the news that I had tested positive. However, he also said that he is waiting for instructions from the Minister of Health. What is the protocol and what he should do at this moment or from here on out. In the meantime, he is just going to go ahead and self-quarantine to make sure he is on the right side and tell all his friends to stay away from them, stay away from him, and for them to quarantine themselves as well in the meantime. And he is asking everyone to just stay safe out there. The Jamaica Constabulary Force on Saturday night confirmed that the police commissioner, who is Major General Anthony Anderson, has also tested positive. See, they have confirmed that he has tested positive, right? And also Peter Bunting himself. Everybody knows who that is. He has also, well, Peter Bunting hasn't really tested positive. That's not the news that was put out. The news that was put out is that Bunting is quarantining himself. Not tested positive, but quarantining himself. And I am kind of like following a chain here, because at Usain Bolt's party, Beenie Man's daughter, which is Disha Rivers, Disha was at Usain Bolt's party front and center, and Bolt was very close to her as well. Disha, of course, had went to an event that Beenie Man, who is her father, his wife, was at an event. She is also in the political arena, and Disha attended her event as well. Of course, they're family and they have a good relationship, so I can't imagine but Disha being around her in close proximities as well. And she herself has withdrawn from certain public obligations that were supposed to be upheld, has been canceled, right? So it is a chain of who's connected to who's been around who, and people are now scurrying to quarantine themselves while awaiting either testing or awaiting results for their testing. Mandeville Mayor Donovan Mitchell has also tested positive, right? Now, this island-wide curfew set in place now, I think this should have been done a while ago. What do you think? In closing this video, though, I'm going to say this. I remember when Bad Boy Trevor, I remember when Bad Boy Trevor had his little party, and when he had the party, how other celebrities were cursing him out. Other celebrities were saying, yo, you're greedy, and brother, you want to put the whole country at risk. And, you know, they made it seem really, really bad. Now, granted, it was, given the frantic nature of how we were in a state of mind when this thing first broke. and he went ahead and had a party in the process, right? When everybody was rushing to lockdown and not fully understanding because no one wanted to end up on a ventilator. There were ventilator shortages. The government was telling us that, listen, if you don't stay inside, what you're doing is you're actually forcing us to make a decision of who gets a ventilator and who does not. Stay inside because you don't want to end up on one, blah, blah, blah. And bad boy Trevor went ahead and had his little party anyways, and we came down on him harshly. I am guessing that Usain Bolt will not be getting that same type of treatment. I mean, all the who of who's in the entertainment world were there at his party. Other super athletes like Leon Bailey and Mr. Sterling were there at the party, among other entertainers, big name entertainers like Munga Honorable, and all these people. A lot of people were at his party. It was a festive affair. People were dancing and enjoying themselves. And in the process of doing that, they came in contact. Nobody had masks on, and so on and so forth. So if Usain has tested positive, if it is accurate that he has tested positive, then that would mean that all those people who were at his party that came in close contact with him will have to go and get tested. And they will not only have to get tested, because remember, this thing has an incubation period. They too need to go and be quarantined as well. But will they get the same treatment? Will Usain get the same treatment as bad boy Trevor? Will anybody lash out and say, come on, Bolt, I mash up the country, just like we did to bad boy Trevor? Or are we gonna say, nah, sir, Usain Bolt, that's another man money long, the man famous, and put Jamaica upon the map, make everybody proud of we as far as, you know, fastest man in the world, and, you know, his charisma on camera. And of course, Usain Bolt is an excellent ambassador for Jamaica because he loves Jamaica and he shows the world that he holds Jamaica up on that shiny mantle way up above everyone else, on a beacon for the world to see it. So he is not only our superstar, but he is also our clean-cut ambassador. Right? So are we going to look at him like how we look at bad boy Trevor? I greedy, I mash him, I mash up the place. Or are we going to say the same thing here as far as Usain Bolt is concerned? Here, what I'm going to say in closing this video. It is my personal opinion that no election should have been called, because we know that election is a festive affair in Jamaica. The people them don't really vote on principles. The people just look forward to an election period. That election period means partying in the streets for the people. You put on your favorite colors. It's just like a football game. It's just like Manchester United against Chelsea. You put on your football jersey, you go out and you cheer for your team. This is what the political atmosphere is like in Jamaica when it comes to politics time. And the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Andrew Holness, knowing this, should not have called an election. In essence, what he did was he inveigled the masses to come out into the streets. I don't care how many times you told them, don't come out without your mask, and social distance, 6 feet apart from each other, and all these things. It is impossible to do that with that many people turned out in the streets. Plus, you know, Jamaican people stay already. Majority of them, majority of us, me included, are somewhat unruly to a certain level. You understand? Some of we are extremely unruly and take it way overboard. Meaning some people did come out in their masks. So you do see masked people in the crowds. But there's a large majority who is willing to say, me now wear no mask, man. If I saw me get sick, I saw me get sick. I know me alone I'll get sick. But me nah miss this. Me I go out, they go represent my party. And so said, so done. I think it was wrong for the PM to call elections now. I think it definitely has put the economy and the people of Jamaica at risk. To my Jamaican people, I'm saying, please, 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 keep on yourself safe. I'm tired of the corona thing, and I'm ready to get back to the island again. And I don't want to come there and the whole place lock down. All right? We can beat this thing. We can control this thing. You were doing fine before. Continue to do fine. Protect yourself. Money isn't everything. Protect your health, because without health, you will spend every penny you have made to make sure that you get good health again. All right? So health is wealth. Health is wealth. Health is the real wealth. Protect your health. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. It's SouFLoTV, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.